Hello, I'm Austin Heyman. Welcome to Seniors Today, a monthly program produced by the Commission on Aging, devoted entirely to issues and interests of Montgomery County seniors. This month we learn about free legal aid for those over 60, and we find out about winter performances at Strathmore. But first we have the chance to discuss important prescription drug-related issues. My first guest is Dr. Jean Dinwiddie, a pharmacist, an expert on medication management, as well as a member of the Montgomery County Commission on Aging. Welcome to Seniors Today.
Oh, thank you.
So many of us have so many prescriptions and sometimes over-the-counter items. The question is, how can we best manage all this?
Well, I would make sure that your pharmacist is involved in all of it and that you're going to the same pharmacy. My experience in getting older is that you just collect specialists. So they may be prescribing different medicines for you. If you go to the same pharmacy, that pharmacist will have the whole picture and discuss your over-the-counter medicines with them as well, the things you buy without a prescription, because they can interact with your prescription medicines.
But I guess it all starts with the doctor. So I guess part of the question, what kind of questions should you be asking your doctor about the medicine?
Well, one of the things that you should ask is, what is the medicine for?
Yes.
So that you know. You'd be surprised at the number of people that unfortunately don't know that. And ask if they can write what it's for on the prescription itself. That way the pharmacy will put that information into the prescription drug label. We get a lot of information when we go to the doctor, and we're often not able to remember all of it. So if that what it's for is on the prescription drug label, you can go back and refresh your memory. You should also ask, how long do I need to take this medicine? Some people, it's important to know, is this going to be for the rest of my life? Is this something that I take for 2 weeks and then I come back and see you? So how long do I need to take this medicine? You should also ask, are there important side effects that I should know about?
Yeah, that's really important.
Yes, and when do I need to call you?
Right.
So because it's, if some drugs, some medicines, I realize all of the watchers take medicines and not drugs. My training is to call them drugs, so forgive me. Some medicines will cause predictable side effects that will go away in a couple weeks after taking it. There are blood pressure medicines that cause people to get very fatigued and sleepy in the beginning, but that goes away in about 2 weeks. So you need to know to expect that, and you should ask that of your doctor, important side effects, and also ask side effects of your pharmacist.
So one of the things that I think I've experienced, and I'm sure others, is we see a lot of different doctors as we get older. And one doctor may prescribe one thing, and how does that work? How does that work out, and how do you avoid the conflict?
It is so important that we all keep a list of our medicines. If you can reduce it small print to a wallet-sized card that you always have with you, then as you go to different doctors, hand them that list. And on that list include things that are over-the-counter medicines, things that you're buying without a prescription.
Really?
They can interfere with prescription medicines. They can also, there are some that can interfere with certain diagnostic tests. So it's important for everyone to know all of the medicines that you're on.
You mean like even a vitamin C or something like that?
Well, there's one, biotin. It's a B vitamin that many, especially older women, take for their hair and nails. It strengthens hair and nails. But it can interfere with an important test used to diagnose a heart attack.
Wow.
So they're not, in general, they're very safe. But vitamin supplements don't have the same sort of approval process. So the vitamins, and anything that doesn't say drug on it,
Uh,
make sure you keep on that list.
So you said you should ask the pharmacist some of the same questions or different
Well, you
questions?
should certainly ask the pharmacist. Ask the pharmacist what's the best way to take this medicine, and what's the best thing to take this medicine with. The answer is not always water. For some medicines need a more acid environment, so you take them with orange juice. Some medicines you take with food. Some medicines require you take them on an empty stomach. So ask the pharmacist what's the best way to take this medicine. Also ask about side effects, because we're getting a lot of information thrown at us in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
You don't always remember everything that the doctor says. And the pharmacist can help reinforce that and may also give you some of the more common side effects. The doctor will give you some common, but you really want from the doctor the serious ones, and when do I need to call you?
You told me before we had this conversation that most pharmacists, I guess after a certain year, like 19...
In the mid-90s.
Now are required to have a doctor, become a doctor of pharmacy.
Yes, yes. In Maryland, since the mid-90s, every pharmacist graduating is a doctor of pharmacy.
That's news to me. I think that's really
We
interesting.
really have not done a good job marketing ourselves, I would have to say, as pharmacists. We have a marketing problem. You call your doctor Dr. Smith, but you call your pharmacist Joe. So yes, pharmacists really are the drug experts.
So sometimes, are there any special precautions one needs to take with any particular...
There are, and that's a good question for your pharmacist. There might be things, there are, again, blood pressure medicines that can cause you to be very sensitive to the sun. So it might be, you want to make sure you're wearing SPF, protection, sun protection, or a hat, so that you can avoid that. It's called photosensitivity medicine. So it might, usually if a medicine will make you drowsy or you should avoid driving, it'll say that on the prescription bottle itself, but that's another special precaution you should know about.
So there are a lot of questions.
There are a lot of questions and a lot of knowledge that we need to, as consumers of healthcare, we need to be watching out for ourselves. And I, of course, as a pharmacist, I would say the best way is to make sure you have a relationship with your pharmacist.
Great. Well, you certainly have given us a lot of things to think about and important questions to ask.
Yes, thank you, Austin.
Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
When we return, we'll hear about free legal aid services for seniors. So we'll be right back.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Welcome back to Seniors Today. Maryland's legal aid is part of a national program that provides free legal services to seniors, nursing home, and assisted living residents. My guest today is Javana Porkarim, and she's from the Maryland Legal Aid. Welcome to Seniors Today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, what kind of services does Maryland Legal Aid provide?
We provide civil litigation services, so we help people with their legal issues in any civil litigation.
So not criminal?
No, we don't do criminal cases. The public defender's office handles the criminal cases.
So give me some examples of the kind of things that cross your desk.
Sure. We do anything from employment law, family law cases like divorce and custody or contempt cases. We handle Social Security cases, and I'm the elder law attorney, so I do a lot of Medicaid litigation, Social Security, disability cases, things like that.
So let's go into this Medicaid, because that's a common problem.
Right.
Does that mean somebody who's in a nursing home or assist?
Well, it can be a range of issues. So sometimes for people who are in the Medicaid waiver program or the Community First Choice program, those are services that you're receiving to stay in the community and avoid being institutionalized.
Sure.
We handle those issues. If somebody is being terminated from the program, we go and represent them in their appeal proceedings. And then for people who are in nursing homes, we help them obtain access to Medicaid so that they can stay and recover fully, and once they're fully rehabilitated, they smoothly transition back into the community.
So are there other lawyers in the office? Are you alone, or do you have other people?
No,
or?
we have a total of 7 attorneys who
wow.
handle cases.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said it's free?
It's free. So for anyone over the age of 60, there are no income or asset requirements. So just about anyone qualifies for our services. If it's an issue that we handle, we certainly will do our best to help everyone.
So how does somebody find you? Is there a phone number that you have?
Yeah. So there's a seniors hotline. Would you like that number?
Sure.
Okay, it's 1-866-635-2948. And then there's a Montgomery County office, which is where I am, down the street from here. Our intake line there is 240-314-0373.
So you mentioned this legal helpline. Tell us a little bit, what's that mean?
It's just a phone number. It's a 1-866 number for anyone who needs legal assistance. They call. They will leave their basic information, like their name, their contact information, and a basic description of their legal problem.
So who calls back?
An intake person calls back. They enter the information into our system.
Is that your office again?
No, that goes to Baltimore City, but they send it to us.
Oh, I see.
So all the intakes for the entire state go to that hotline if they call that hotline. Or they can just call us directly at the 240 number.
So what if I'm homebound and I can't get to your office?
Yeah. I drive and visit with clients all the time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do I do home visits. I do nursing home visits. It's not a problem.
And what if I don't speak English?
Well, we have a pretty diverse office, but we also use language lines. So I speak Farsi, and we have someone who speaks Russian. But for people that whose language we don't have, we have a language line, and we offer interpreters, and we generally speak with everyone and can make the services available to everyone.
I wondered, in the nursing homes, I wonder if you ever get referrals from the long-term care ombudsmans.
We do. We have a really good working relationship with the Ombudsman's office. Sometimes we do trainings for the volunteer ombudsmans. So yeah, we work closely with them.
So you've been doing this for a while. What are the most common issues that you cross your desk?
Well, because I'm the elder law attorney there, so I do a lot of Medicaid cases. Lately, I have been doing some family law stuff, so divorces and custodies. But mostly, I do housing is a big one. So for people who are being terminated from their home, or if they have a voucher, if they're in subsidized housing, their subsidy is being terminated. Those are important issues, and we see those all the time.
But I mean, some of these things would be rather time-consuming, it seems to me. I mean, aren't they? I mean, you said you have 7 lawyers. That's. I mean, you are able to spend enough time to handle the case to its conclusion.
Yeah, for the most part. And sometimes if we feel that advice only is sufficient to help someone get through their legal problem, we may just give legal advice and close their case. Or we may sometimes refer them to private attorneys. We also have a network of volunteer attorneys that we work with.
Oh, that's terrific.
So sometimes we're able to find people, volunteer attorneys, that will take on their case.
So you were telling me a little bit before that your life story. You're not born in this country. Tell us a little bit about
I was not. I'm Iranian American. We migrated here in 2000. We settled in Rockville. I went to University of Maryland for undergrad, then I went to Florida for law school, and I came back to serve Rockville because I love this place.
That's so neat. That's a great story.
Thank
So,
you.
because you said you spoke Farsi, that was a
Yep.
clue, I guess. So, are there other legal services for people with modest incomes that don't, perhaps are 58 years old or something that what would because you mentioned 60.
Right. There are income requirements. We handle those cases also, but there are income and asset requirements. So I believe that you have to be under 50% of Maryland median income in order to qualify for our services if you're under the age of 60. But we handle those cases as well.
Has you mentioned what you most common things over the time has the subject matter changed?
Well, sometimes we see a surge of, let's say, Medicaid cases, and then sometimes we see a lot of family law when it comes to vacation, and people want to argue over their kids' vacation schedule. But for the most part, we see the same number of cases throughout.
Yeah. It's a great resource. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, we'll close the show with a special look at winter programs at Strathmore. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
We need a claim number?
When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving. We're here to help.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all working with United Way for a million little reasons. The kids of our communities, to ensure their academic success all the way to graduation day. You see, it takes about 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a kid becoming one or the other could be a professional athlete, or it could be you. Studies showed the earlier we get to kids, the better their chances. So become a United Way volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, and make a difference in the life of a child, for the life of that child.
Give, advocate, volunteer,
Live United. Join your favorite NFL players. Take the pledge. Go to unitedway.org.
Welcome back to Seniors Today. Strathmore presents high-quality arts programming designed for audiences of all ages. And here with me today is Artistic Director Joy Brown to tell us about upcoming winter offerings. Well, welcome to Seniors Today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm a big fan of Strathmore. An awful lot goes on there. But not everybody knows that there's more than that big, beautiful center.
Right, we're kind of all over the place now. It's wonderful.
So what does that mean?
Well, the Music Center is, of course, full. It's the home for the Baltimore Symphony, National Phil, Washington Performing Arts, so some of our really beloved organizations. But we also have a lot of programs that happen at the Mansion, which is right next to the concert hall. And I know a lot of people follow that room. That's a sweet, beautiful recital hall. It just holds 100 people.
Right.
So it's perfect for intimate events. But several years ago, we branched out even further And we're now at AMP, which is a nightclub space at Pike and Rose. So it's a 230-seat club space, which is modeled like a jazz club. So you can sit, you can have a beverage, you can order a meal, and you can hear high-quality music. And we can bring in artists that are really more appropriate for that kind of space.
Do you have some examples of who performs there?
Oh, we have lots of jazz groups that perform there, a lot of world music, some good folk singers,
Great.
and we even do comedy. It's a whole range of activity.
So we're entering the holiday season in December and winter, and it's time for family events. Are there some special family events that are occurring in the near future?
There are. Families are always central to Strathmore. We have a children's choir, we have a youth orchestra, and both of them put together beautiful concerts at the holiday time. Our children's choir has over 200 participants. Our youth orchestra program has 600 young people involved in it.
Wow.
There's so many that we have to perform over two different performances. We can't even fit them all into one performance anymore. So those events happen in December and throughout the year. They're great events for families. A lot of kids who see this for the first time end up wanting to participate. So just fair warning, we've seen kids raise their hand and want to audition after seeing one of the concerts.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. So are there some kind of high-profile concerts coming up at the center?
Definitely. We always try to make sure that we have a good range of activities. We've got Jazz at Lincoln Center with Wynton Marsalis.
Oh, wow.
They're performing 2 performances in the middle of December. They've done the holiday concert before, and it's a huge favorite. It's always a sellout.
I bet.
Wynton is just a phenomenal trumpeter, but in addition, his members are just incredibly talented, and they're all talented arrangers. So this is a chance for the individual members of the jazz group to really showcase their abilities as orchestrators, and they take best love holiday songs and they put twists on them, and they showboat, and they bring in guest vocalists. So it's really, really a fun way to celebrate the holidays. We also have some traditional events, jazz events like Kenny G. He will be doing some holiday tunes. The Beach Boys have a holiday show.
The Beach Boys?
The Beach Boys do.
Wow.
They had a holiday album, so this will be a great event. Steve Love, one of the co-founders of the Beach Boys, he'll be headlining with the Beach Boys for a holiday concert as well.
Well, that's pretty much of a high.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned the mansion. So there like individual artists that perform there? Or?
Yes. There's something happening every week there. It's frequently rented out for recitals, but we also do our own programming. So we bring in professional touring artists, and it's really a chance to get into some of the more nuanced music. You can't explore small Middle Eastern ensembles and things like that necessarily in the big room, but the small room is really a great place to do that.
Yeah, I know. I have a friend whose daughter performs the saxophone there. So are there some concerts that we would not call holiday specific?
Yes, in the middle of December in the mansion that you had mentioned, Susan Gaita, who is a Sephardic singer, and that's a style of Jewish singing that comes out of the Spanish tradition. So again, one of those styles that you really need to hear in a small, intimate space.
Sure.
So she'll be featured at the mansion, and then a wonderful singer-songwriter named Rufus Wainwright will be performing on the Strathmore main stage. It's the 25th anniversary of his breakout Grammy-winning album called Poses. He's been, adored and loved all over the world, and he'll be on stage as well with a non-holiday event, just in case people have enough holiday in other parts of their lives.
Wow. If we look beyond the holidays into January and February, are there some things that stand out that people should look for?
Absolutely. We have kind of an international flair happening in the first part of the year. Sometimes events just cluster together. So in January we have a great group called Step Africa. They're actually DC based. They've been around for
Step
Africa. Yes. The stepping tradition comes out of the African American University fraternity and sorority world. So it's kind of like cheering and stomping and rhythmic dance.
So are these Americans, or are these from from Africa?
These are Americans, although for this particular performance, because it's the 25th anniversary of this form, which is influenced by Africa, and it's also the 25th anniversary since the end of apartheid, they're doing a special focus on works from South Africa. So, for example, there's a gumboots dance, which happens with these giant boots on, and it celebrates the work of the South African miners. So that's a rhythmic dance that will be featured. So definitely an international focus to this particular show. And then we also have a group from South Africa, Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Oh, wow.
They've been in our hall a number of times. A lot of people will remember them from the album Graceland that won a Grammy Award with Paul Simon. It was Paul Simon's first big international collaboration, and it just went completely off the charts, and it launched Ladysmith Black Mambazo into kind of an international fame that they hadn't really enjoyed before, and they've continued to tour since then. So it's a beautiful harmonic style of South African music. And then we shift to another part of the world, and we'll be presenting Fara Quito in February, and he is known as the finest flamenco dancer in the entire history of the world and flamenco. He is absolutely adored, completely iconic.
From Spain?
Yes, yes, and his family is a flamenco dynasty, and he was introduced to it at a very young age. And then there was a family tragedy. He took quite a few years off, and so now he's back to touring, and it's been exciting to see everybody get prepared for this. But when I talk to people in the flamenco community, people who train and study, as soon as you say his name, they know, they nod, and they go, "Oh, the best."
So you mentioned a lot. Is there a website that people should go to and maybe can check on the dates of some
Absolutely.
of these?
There's so much going on. It's really best. It's all in print there. www.strathmore.org.
And if you want to order tickets,
you can link right through there, or you can call our ticket office at 301-581-5100.
Wow. Well, there's certainly a lot happening, and we haven't even talked about all the educational stuff that goes on.
It's amazing. I love the fact that when you come to work, the whole building is pulsing. There are children running in and out of dance classes and carrying violin cases. So it's a great center for education as well as for touring artists, and I think that's what makes it kind of magical.
And you're also modifying the building a bit, which is going to.
We are.
The escalator is going to go in for
we
those
are
who
very
don't
excited.
Like the stairs.
Very excited for that escalator and expanded dining space. It's going to make everything much easier and much more accessible.
So it's a great place to go. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I'll be there.
Okay, good. Look forward to it.
Well, that's it for this month's Seniors Today. Don't forget that you can access this show and a great deal of information about county services for seniors by going to the Montgomery County Senior website at montgomerycountymd.gov/seniors, or call the Senior Resource Line at 240-777-3000. And as always, thank you for watching Seniors Today.
Be prepared. Storing water is smart, especially during the winter months.
WSSC averages 1,800 water main breaks a year.
So with all the other emergency preparation, remember the water.
Here's what you should have on hand. 1 to 2 gallons of safe tap or bottled water per person per day. Store enough to last each person at least 3 days. And don't forget the pets.
Check out WSSCwater.com/winterize for more tips.
WSSC, where water matters.
Starting today, you can be active and treat yourself to a wide array of great activities offered by Montgomery County Recreation. With 4 indoor aquatic facilities and 20 community rec centers that offer exercise and weight rooms, you'll find everything you want from sports and fitness to senior activities, from cooking to dancing, classes, trips, and tours. Yes, starting today, you can work toward a healthier lifestyle. learn a new skill, relax a little, or just meet new people. Visit our website to see all the exciting programs, activities, and classes available to you. And
the next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
County Cable Montgomery, your information station.